and Stevie's here is we used to run a franchise for about 6 or 7 years, and we did pretty well with it. We were the first franchise to make $1 million in sales in Pacific. So we know a lot of tips and tricks that can help you guys kind of fast forward your life and you know, start to make money hopefully quicker than, you know, than anything.
That's if you listen.
That's if you listen. So we got the tips, the tricks.
That's if you listen.
Yeah. So
the biggest thing is a proven system, guys. You follow the system,
it works.
It'll reward yourself.
And we had this year, you'll see it, but this year we had multiple guys go over $1 million, well over $1 million. These guys were well over $1 million, but this year we really had a few more guys just click well over $1 million with the system. That's why we know it works. It's proven. It works. Follow it. You'll be able to just keep, you know, multiplying what you have.
Yep. So basically, the whole point of everything that we're talking about is, like I said, we don't want to make this like a boring training with, you know, all this stuff. Like, the whole point why everyone's here, no one really said, but we're all here to make money. All right? So everything that we talk about is all based on making money for it. Like, we're not just here to talk about Pacific and the history because it's cool. Like, you want to talk about it in terms of making yourself money for your future, for your family, for everything. So that's what the whole thing is geared towards. All right? So basically what we do as Pacific is we mainly do the sprinklers. We do landscape lighting. In holiday time, we do Christmas lighting. More in Florida and stuff, we do pumps, commercial irrigation, landscape drainage. Basically, all these things are stuff that you can use as your tools to help you make money as you're going through your franchise and everything. Additional services that you can sell. So we're going to go through training kind of on all that stuff, a little bit on everything.
Hey Steve, do me a favor, just drop back to the other slide with who's got my money. We said we all want to make money, but the key here is we don't want to go out and rip off the customer. We don't want to go out and just change timers because it's money and it's a big ticket item. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. What we want to do is educate the customer, and we want to sell the customer what they need and what would be best for them with their irrigation system, their lighting system. Breaking heads, kicking heads off, that's not us. That's not us. What we want to do is make sure that we just take it. There's plenty of work out there, and every system needs work. Whether it's the lighting system, drainage, there's so much to look for. The wells, the pumps, everything. You'll be able to find and be able to sell the customer loads of work doing it honestly. Don't get into the habit of saying, hey, I changed 5 heads, and you really only changed 1 or 2. That's the type of stuff we can't have. Okay, we're an honest company. We want to stay that way. We want to keep that as our reputation. Okay? But you want to go for the money, like Steve says. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's what we're going to train towards, you know? All right, so where does Pacific service? Just a little bit of background on Pacific. So obviously we're in New York. We're in New Jersey, Connecticut, parts of Pennsylvania. Ohio, we have a couple franchises in Ohio. They're not here today. South Carolina, Florida, and Mason's in North Carolina. So it's kind of where we're at. I don't think I'm missing anything there. So hopefully it's more soon. We're trying to do other states. So if you ever talk to anyone, just know we're basically going down the East Coast. All right? All right, so a big part of Pacific is how we look. All right? Everything here, this, that, we look very presentable. All right? So our trucks are always nice, clean, yellow. This is kind of the look. It's the branded look. This is how the inside of your truck should look. There's a lot of trucks that don't look like this, but you know, everything is about being organized, neat, clean, efficient, because there's so many customers to service. All right, so this is how Hector's truck looks.
Any of you new guys, if I come to your thing and I have to crawl into your truck and I have to like swim over shit, we're having some type of finding system this year right in place for the first time I see it.
So, but the point of it is not that we want to be on top of you, it's that you're going to make the most money like this. Again, back to the money. The more organized you are, the more money you can make faster. All right, and the easier you can repair systems and everything. So, how we look. How we look.
I missed that one.
No, it's a picture of Hector. It's like real up close. How we look, though, all right? It's obviously this is the thing. You're not going to go to a job site and wear tan pants, or you're going to wear some T-shirt or something. this is the look. This is how we want to look on every job, all right? So even if you got workers with you or something, if you hire a worker, Alex, something, we ordered you like extra t-shirts, we'll get you. You know, you give that guy at least a t-shirt for the day or something. You don't want to be out there in just random clothes.
Don't get in too deep, like when you're just saying issues like that, don't get in too deep before calling one of us. If you're having a problem for 15, 20 minutes, I love that you guys try, but I don't want you guys there for 2 hours before you call me. You know, give it a good effort, try. Don't just rely on me for anything. But, you know, after a certain point, 15, 20 minutes, if you're still butting your head against the wall, pick up the phone quick so that next time, you know, it won't take you that long to figure it out.
That's a good guideline. Everybody think that way. 15, 20 minutes is the max you can put on a problem until you pick up the phone and say, hey guys, I need help. Don't be afraid of it. Don't just, remember, don't do it every time. Try to work it. 15, 20 minutes, you're too far in because that's going to back up the day. It's going to turn into a mess. Get on the phone right away and get support, okay? You want to replace that filter. There's money in it. And you have to explain to the customer that if you don't replace it and flush it out, it's like the filter in your house. You know, your water filter that's treating your house. It'll get clogged up, jammed up, and it'll affect the drip irrigation, and they'll never see it. And what'll happen is it'll clog the drip lines, and it'll kill the plants. So, you know, you're trying to you educate the customer why that has to be replaced.
You want to try to get people to replace these yearly. Now, some of you guys are going to get pushback. Well, my other irrigation company never did it. So what you got to, you know, if you can't lock them into a yearly change, at least just lock them in and say, listen, every 2 years, get something out of them. Don't just give up and say, oh, well, they never did it. No, push and say, listen, like he said, this is a water filter. It needs to be replaced. It's, you know, it's sediments going through it, rust, iron deposits. All this stuff is clogging it up. All it's going to do is make us have to replace all your drip eventually, or we could just change this little filter for $50 every year or every 2 years, you know? Try to get something out of it. Don't just walk away and just put your head down.
Flat rate pricing. What that means is we have basically one easy price to give to a customer for a repair. You don't need to come up with all these complicated things and add on all these things. Most of the stuff is just one quick price, but it's up to you to know how to use the tablet so you can get the customer the right price. All right? So for example, this right here, it's a broken poly pipe, right? We call it a double lateral connection, okay? Because it sounds more expensive than broken pipe. Double lateral connection is what it's called, all right? So inside of that price, for every area is different, but like New York, it's $48, all right? Used to be 38, we raised it. Jersey too, Hector, Andy, $48, all right? Inside of that, it includes your labor to dig it up, clean it, fix it, test it. It includes the material, you know, all the material, the clamps, everything, it's all into there. You don't need to look for all these separate parts. It includes 1-year warranty on parts and labor, all right? So there's a warranty in there. And it also includes your profit, okay? So why I'm telling you all this is when you need to explain it to a customer sometimes, they'll be like, $48, why so much? It's because it includes the clamps, the fittings, the digging, the testing, retesting, the pressure, the flushing. It includes everything all into that price. We increased prices on a couple items across the board. So the first couple customers that you go to this year, don't automatically assume the old price. Punch it in the tablet for the first customer, get used to, you'll see a couple of the items have kicked up.
And that price increase was because of existing franchisees who are out there gave us that information back. We looked to see if there were any complaints, and they said to us, listen, we can get more for it. And I was like, okay, that sounds good. We evaluate it, we look at it, we look to see if there's complaint. We had it $10, that's a big raise. That's $10 of profit that is going on there. So you utilize that, okay?
Yeah, we raised everything.
Okay, because it's not $48, that's where Steve's going. I'm cutting
Yeah,
him
the
off.
point of,
Go ahead.
yeah, it's a broken pylon, great, but it's more than that, all right? It's the $48, plus you gotta chop that thing, all right?
Not the tree down. Don't
Not the
chop
tree, the root.
down.
They had 3-foot sections.
All right, so
That's it.
you got your $48 for the broken line, but then what we add on is what we call mechanics labor, or laborer price. So if you gotta do extra digging, chopping, whatever, there's a line in the price book that's mechanic labor. You add on your extra time. It's $90 per hour. If you have a helper with you, it's 60 for him. Okay, so we're going to go over that. But keep in mind that you're not going to fix this for 48. You got to charge more. So let's say that you got 10 houses for the day. You're going to 10 houses, all right? Each house has about 5 zones, right? So you got about 50 zones that you're checking for the day. You got about 5 heads a zone. You just check 250 heads for the day. So you walk by 250 heads. So we're going to go through items, and I'm taking you through, this is exactly what they look like in the computer. So you're learning what it looks like in the computer, around how much you charge, okay? And around how much we call profit on it. So the point is, what we want to show you is a lot of guys think that they sell timers or expensive things, and they think that that's going to be the most money, to make them the most money. But you actually make the most profit on a lot of the smaller items. Okay, so it's really important. A lot of guys just want to change big things, but the small things can really put money in your pocket. Then we have a couple other guys that sell like hundreds of them. So we're trying, and then the guys who aren't selling, they're like, no one will ever buy them. But then there's another guy standing here that's like, I sold a couple hundred of them. Again, it's only $6, but it's covering your gas.
Even if you just sold 100, 100 times 5, that's $500. 32.
You got $32 for the day. All right? You got $32. So, nozzles, all right? We can replace either a nozzle on a mist head or a nozzle inside a rotary head. Okay, so sometimes if you have a rotary that's in the center of a lawn, it's doing a 360, it usually needs a bigger nozzle than a rotary that's just on the side, only spinning half. So keep that in mind. The ones in the center should have bigger nozzles.
People are complaining they're getting brown spots in the middle of their lawn during the heat wave. It's the first thing you attack. You either upgrade the head or upgrade the nozzle within the head.
Right. So we're going to get... Yeah.
It could also be a fungus too, from overwatering.
Ken?
Yes. If they say, and that's why I probably should have put it first, but before you even go up to a customer's door, you're going to ask them a few questions. Before you even check the system, you're going to ask them a few questions. The first one would be, did you have any problems last year? Any areas with too much water, not enough water?
That's very good, what he's saying. Keep that in mind. Everybody understand why he's saying this. He's talking to the customer before he starts to look at the system. Getting feedback from the customer about what that customer needs, and that's what you're going to focus on when you go out there.
So when they say, yeah, the back last year was brown. Okay, no problem, I'm going to check it. First you look at the heads, you look at everything, great. But also you need to change the nozzles to get more water. All right?
That's another thing that is tricky. Sometimes you ask the customers about last year, many of them, especially if they were with different companies, they're like, no, everything was great.
Yeah.
But then it's up to you to find what is the problem, because then if they see you that they didn't check the whole system, they're like, oh, did you check this area? And that's when you know, like...
Yeah, well sometimes they'll tell you there's a problem, sometimes they'll say nothing, but you gotta try.
What's good is that you're building a good rapport with the customer, because what looks better? If I ring the bell, hey, where's your control timer, can you bring me downstairs?
Yes.
You look like a moron half the time, you know? Like no one, they're gonna say, okay. Now if I walk in, I say, did you have any problems last year? Is everything okay with the system? Where's your control timer? And I'm walking and talking as I'm going downstairs. This guy's like, oh wow, I like this guy. He's actually, he's trying to keep me engaged. Who's gonna sell more stuff at the end of the day?
If a customer says, if you see it's their first time using you, right? You'd say, oh, were you using another company to do your sprinklers before? Oh yeah, I used another guy. Okay, why'd you stop, just curious, why'd you stop using them? Because, oh, he never checked the back. He never checked the front. He never checked, no problem, I'll check it for you.
That's where the money is.
And that's what it goes back to, the money.
Right.
The money. It's just a question to get money, because now when you show them a bad head, a bad nozzle, a bad valve, you gotta replace the whole thing. It's true. So, nozzles, if you're checking 250 heads a day, let's just say half of them are mist heads, right? So you checked 100 mist heads. How many clogged nozzles or nozzles you think you can replace? 100 mist heads for the day.
Maybe 25.
25.
Every time you see a mist head that's not spraying, don't unscrew it and flush it, because you're losing
Well, look,
your
what are you
$8.50.
getting out of that? What's the purpose of you flushing it out? Are you making your money? Are you making yourself any money?
Exactly, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking, are
No,
you
you
guys
f-
advising
you
me to
flag-
never save that customer $8?
Flag that head. You need a new
Show
nozzle.
it to
You
them.
need a new nozzle.
You need a new nozzle every
You
time.
can't flush out a plastic mist head. You can't. It's jammed in there, the sand's in there, anything. You try doing it, put a flag in and run it around, later on you'll get a call back.
Everybody
because
knows
it's
a trick
jammed
too,
up
John.
again.
How many times you take a mist head, you tap the nozzle of it,
And it starts.
and then it works fine. But then go back like 3 times later. What happened? More dirt moved in the way.
Yeah, you give it a little.
To be honest, when I started going down to Florida a lot, I used to think that they were crazy because they would change nozzles live. And I was trying to understand the concept behind it. Why are they changing nozzle live? I'm like, I'm getting soaked here. It's ridiculous. But I realized too, what the good part about it though is a lot of times if you don't have a remote handy, when you flush it and you put a nozzle on when it's live, you truly get all that dirt and debris out that you didn't leave anything sitting in that head. So if you can get good at it, some of these guys are barely getting wet doing it. It's another way you can look credible for what you're doing.
And also to make sure, don't ever change a nozzle without putting a filter in.
Yep.
Don't just change the nozzle. Make sure there's filters in there, because it's got to catch that, or you'll be back on callbacks if there's dirt rolling through that line.
Another thing is multi-stream nozzles or rotary nozzles.
If someone's calling you to their house to say, listen, I want to save money on my water bill. I'm tired of spending so much on my irrigation system. And they say their whole mist is just all mist heads all over. We've done this numerous times. You swap them out to all these nozzles, they're going to use less water because that's what they're designed to do. You know, if you got to try to think of ways to save the customer money, but make yourself money in the same time. So you can use these as a full conversion of old mist heads, or just on 1 or 2 heads to make them compatible to rotaries.
So how many of these you think you could sell a day? That's was that 125?
This is a thing to keep in mind though when you're out there.
Pipe, all right? If you're going to extend poly pipe, we charge per foot. So you got to add a head from here to Jose. It's 25 feet times 6. All right? If you got extra digging, extra rocks, extra whatever, you have to add on that mechanic labor. All right? So $6 a foot. Okay? Again, your material is not costing you much here. All right? And you could also use this for funny pipe. It's either funny pipe or poly pipe. It's the same thing.
Anything you're breaking out a shovel to dig into the ground and move ahead, if you have a head behind this sign, this is going to be, I'm going to say, a pine tree. But there's a rotary head back there. You got to take that rotary head, you got to get it out to the grass, right? So, boom, you're going to charge them here, you're going to charge them extra pipe to move that head out. So make sure you're looking for all these things. Watch where they put new plants when you're walking onto a house.
Yep. So on, what do we say, 10 houses, how many feet of pipe you think you're going to use? You got to move a few heads. You got to maybe add a head, work a system around. Mason?
Maybe 10 feet.
10 feet.
Yeah.
All right, let's use it. Let's see what we get up to.
Okay. Even with 10 feet, let's see, $60. All right?
You probably could do way more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It just it depends, but yeah. So risers. So risers are really good. It varies per area how it's set up, but if you got heads inside of bushes, like behind a bush or something, so let's say the head is coming up to here, okay? And this is the top of the bush. You want to raise that head so it's sitting up here, so this way when it sprays out, it can spray over everything. Even if it's close, this bush is going to grow by the time the summer comes. So you could say, I got to raise it, the bush is going to grow, I need to raise it up another 6 inches, it's not really spraying out. And you don't get a lot of complaints on these pieces because they're cheap, 15 bucks, 20, 22 bucks. And it just takes you a second to screw it on.
You sell a lot of these, you're not breaking your back putting them in, right? These are probably your easiest repair throughout the day. A pair of channel locks, twist it off, twist it on.
Yeah.
Keep it in mind.
All the stuff we just went through, the nozzles, besides the pipe, all this stuff are quick, easy repairs. Customer's not going to complain, and you're not going to kill yourself doing it. So these are the quick things that you're going to do. So let's say you go through the day. We got different prices for 6-inch to 12-inch. That's how you're going to see it in the computer. That's one item. Or if you need 18-inch to 24-inch, that's another item. So they're different. They're all in what we call the common list. All these items are going to be on one list. You can just pick easily. So how many risers do you think you could sell for the day? Johnny, what do you think?
12, easy.
12? Okay. Go with let's go with 10, 150.
Okay, 150 riders.
So, we got also, if you need to cap a head, sometimes if there's too much water or sometimes there's heads in bad spots, you got to cap a head that we charge 20 bucks for that. All right, you got to dig it up, you got to cap it, either you Teflon it, whatever. You make sure it's sealed, cap it. Or this is a big one right here, reset heads.
It's on every house. I don't care what anybody says here.
You got a
Every
crooked
house.
head, you got something that's just hanging there, reset heads. Last year at the big conference, I said this to everyone, you got to reset heads. Some of the guys are like, nah, I don't do that. But I literally see the numbers of everybody. There's some guys making thousands of dollars off of this. It's really big, you know. So it's a simple thing to do. You're looking for everything on a house. If you can't find anything, but you got crooked heads, reset the heads. All right,
See,
20
what
bucks.
don't you do with the shovel and then charge for it?
Break the head or knock it over.
Well, watch.
The problem too is, you know, when you reset this head, right? So I used to do it all the time. You know, I did it quick. I would just take my shovel, the back of it, and bash the side of the head and just make it stand straight real quick because I was moving and grooving. You really can't charge that customer $20 to do it, you know? Listen, that's quick if you just have to get in, get out, if you know, you just kind of tune it up real quick. But what you should be doing is chop a little circle out, move it over, pack it in.
You may have to reset it though with the funny pipe. You know, because it may be sticking up as you move it over.
But
So
sometimes
when you have to reset it, you
sometimes
do.
the inside is broken, the riser.
But now that's a different charge, you know, like so. But a lot of times you'll see that beforehand. You know, sometimes you may have to replace the swing joint. You know, so it's up to you.
Right? All right, so how many capped heads you think you got for the day? You went to 10 houses.
Maybe a couple,
maybe 10?
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I would probably say capped heads you got about 2 or 3 tops.
Maybe you got more reset heads. You probably got
Resets, you
10
can probably get
resets.
10.
You probably
So-
got 10 resets.
So
Right.
about 200 on resets, and you got let's say 3. You got $60 on cap.
Alex, yours is going to be.
Yeah, you got a
the
lot of
size of your
zones.
houses is way different.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that you hit.
Where
Some
it's
are
gonna be
normal, but
located?
some Connecticut. So
Greenwich?
some of the houses are up there. Yeah, you know.
Like 20-something zones.
Yeah.
All right, so how much money do we got so far?
I'm not a mathematician, I need a
78.
calculator. But you know, just for instance here, we're gonna say you know, you sell at least 4 feet of wire a day, average it out, say $16.
4 feet, that's not.
Yeah, but you're not using this on a daily. This
Yeah,
one's
this
a
is-
tough one on a daily basis.
And if you've got to change a couple of splices in a box, you're not.
That's gonna be
add-
something different though. It's
yeah,
not
you're
gonna be wire.
add wire
That's
footage.
wire splices are gonna be more on a daily basis versus wire extension.
Yeah.
One day you do 20.
This is what you're saying right here.
Yeah.
These are what you're going to be banging out. These are what you're going to open up that valve box cover. This is what you're going to dig in there. You're going to have to educate them. If you see just the yellow wire nuts, you know, listen, I've even used them because they were cheaper at one point, you know, but it corrodes the wire. It's not the proper way to do it. These you could definitely sell. If you go to 10 houses, you could definitely get, you know, at least 2 to 3 of these a day at minimum.
See, my only thing
What do
with
you-
that though is if I just change one, I don't like to charge them $20 because they're like, that's bullshit.
But don't tell them it's one. Why do you have to just change one? Why can't you do a couple in the
I
box?
mean, me personally, if it's not broke, you know, if there's really not an issue, but you could look at it, well, if that one went bad, then they could all be going bad.
That's what you gotta look at.
Right,
You
right.
gotta remember.
Yeah, if
listen,
you just change
gotta make
one,
money.
it
You gotta show
doesn't
value
look
for your
right.
money.
It doesn't look neat, you know.
You
But
gotta,
remember,
listen,
you
you
gotta
gotta
see
make money.
corrosion too.
You know?
You gotta see the corrosion on it. Just because it's working today, if you take a look at that, it's just a regular wire nut, it's corroding every day. You know, that's called oxidation. The wire is copper. When the electricity goes through it with water, it oxidizes. That's what jams up. So it may not go, but maybe a week from now it would go. So if you're there and you're looking at it, it's something that you're not robbing the person. You're doing them a favor for it. If it's a good waterproof seal that's on there.
Usually I do 4 or 5 balls. When I do it, I charge
one
only
and then
2.
you're gonna change.
So 2
That's
one
what you
day.
want.
This is
Come
not
back and
per.
change it.
That's what I do usually.
Just to clarify too, this is not per wire splice in the box. If you got 6 wire nuts in the box, you're not charging $22
Yeah.
For
each one.
Each place,
You would
right.
charge
No,
$22
you
for
can't. You're right.
one
You can't do that.
one whole valve box. So if you
Yeah.
got 6 or 7 splices,
Yeah.
you're doing all those for the $22.
Plus they know that that wire nut is not cheap. Buy it
Yeah,
at home.
gel
not
gel
cheap.
filled is not cheap.
No.
You gotta buy a pack at Home Depot. 4 packs like 20 something bucks.
And that's why, depending upon how many zones you have,
Guess what?
you
How
may,
much you gonna
you may
charge for
put
one?
2, 3 of
You're
those
not
down.
charging. You're not doing this one.
Nothing.
Well, sometimes you're doing one, you know. It's hard to say. It varies, but
Most of the time, you're finding a way that you're gonna charge them the $22. You're gonna change them all. If you had to, and they're really over your back, and you're doing one, so you charge them $5 or something. Change the price of $5 for one if you really had to. But you know, like I said, there's always room for you to change more and make it look like you should.
Like a nice clean and everything.
yeah.
Yeah, and especially if you're cutting and resplicing them. Now you're working at it. You're not just taking it off, throwing it on. You're gonna get rid of the oxidation that's on the copy. You're gonna cut that off. You're gonna splice out each one, put them back together, twirl them, put your waterproof. You're doing something for your $22. You gotta get paid for your time. Every second you're there, you gotta get paid.
And you're showing a value for it.
So you check, you have 10 houses, 5 zones a house. That's 50 zones. Each zone uses 2 wire nuts. Well, each zone uses 1 wire nut, say. So you check, you got about 75 wire nuts, approximately, through the day. How many do you think you can change? What do we say?
It's about
3?
3 to 5.
Whatever, let's keep it on the low end. 3 is 66.
You got to remember too is you got to use your judgment.
So another thing would be drip emitters for like flower pots and stuff. So again, we have a separate price for that. Netafim drip emitter. We charge $22, okay? It'll cost you approximately 25 cents. Okay? The $22 includes running a few feet of spaghetti pipe as well as the emitter. Sometimes you have to put, like in here, you gotta probably put, you know, 2, 4, 6, 8 emitters. You could probably charge for 8 emitters if you gotta sit and cut in each one, you know. But also if you're gonna replace them if they're clogged, we still charge the $22.
This is time, but it's great money in this, and everyone has a pot. And if you ask anybody, as soon as I walk up to the doors, you know, if I don't see it there, do you water these by hand every day? Do you ever go on vacation? You have to. Oh yeah, I always have my mother come over. You want me to add a little drip tubing in there for you, so you don't ever have to worry about it? It waters it every day when the system comes on. Boom, they're happy.
Yep. And if you need to run additional pipe, you would do that $6 a foot to get
And
there.
sometimes it's better, make that one separate, zone, you make it more money.
Great. If you see a woman who has a back deck, and I mean the place is decked out with 20, 30 different pots on it, don't start tapping off of that zone because she's going to want to regulate that. That's when you bring it up to her at a separate, you write her a proposal. Say, listen, we can add on an extra zone with a regulated pressure regulator and filter just for these pots. So we can make them come on twice a day when it's really sunny out. We'll make sure that they get watered in the morning and that their roots don't dry out in the afternoon. We'll give them another drink.
So 10 houses, what do you think a day? 2, 3?
Put on the low end, 2.
All right, drip pipe. We charge again. Any type of piping that we're running, we charge per foot. All right, so we do $4 per foot. That includes stapling it down, running it nicely, cutting it, running like this. So something here like this would have, I don't know, what is that, 160 feet of drip pipe or something? So it'd be 60 times 4.
You're running this easily too without killing yourself. You're pulling the mulch back, you're stapling it in quick. This is quick, easy money. You're not killing yourself trenching through roots and everything. And keep that in mind. This is something good you always want to try and hit.
What do you think per day you can add on of drip or fix of drip?
Now, you're not doing that every day, but, when you hit it, you could definitely...
Yeah.
Say good 10 feet, This way you added around a couple plants that they missed or they added.
All right, broken lines, double lateral connection. This is a huge one. I mean, you run into these all the time. We even use these like if you're going to move ahead. Sometimes you'll do double lateral connection to do the connection, and then you'll do the feet of pipe, and then you'll do the head. Because you got to get down there and you got to connect it. So that's the way you can build a ticket. It's not just one item. Double lateral connection, pipe, reset head, or rotary head, whatever you did.
Christian, how many of these you do a day with Victor? The breaks?
Maybe 5
5?
a day.
5 a day.
Okay. So 5 times 50, 240?
240.
All right, running out of space here.
That's the numbers out there.
What's that?
That's a $46.
48. What's that?
We get 240.
48. Now, Mason, you're different. You're PVC. Your brakes, like PVC brakes in where he's working, Charlotte, is like 100. How much does it charge?
180.
180 they charge for a brake because it's PVC. This repair would be one, but if you have multiple, sometimes you're 48 and 48, or if it's a weird elbow or something, you can charge for two.
If it's a huge house, and it's
Where they beg you to drop down the price and stuff like that.
there's no begging.
Yeah,
Remember,
that's the price.
that's the
It
price.
is what it is.
You only work for the company. It's in the computer.
You don't
Solenoid?
go to Papa John's and asking for a cheap discount on the pizza.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Can't do it. Can't do it. Right.
Solenoid, all right? So instead of changing the whole valve, you could just change the solenoid, because the solenoid's got to come off of another valve, or you got to order them separately. We got to sit there, we got to splice it. This includes the wire splices.
The waterproof connectors.
Yeah, you're not going to add that on. So solenoids, if the zone isn't working. Also, look, if this thing's rusted off a little bit, if the top of it, sometimes the wire's coming off, if it kind of came on and then shut off and kind of came on, change the solenoid. Don't sit there and try and play with it. How many bad solenoid? You ran about 50 zones. That's 50 valves with master valves. You probably have 50 solenoids a day.
Call it one.
Yeah, probably get one because this is one. This is something I would put more on a weekly basis. But you could probably get at least one a day.
Valves, we change the whole valve or you change the top of the valve. That's for just the standard valve, digging it up, nicely replacing it. If you got roots, rocks, or weird manifolds or something, you're going to charge more. Yeah. So this is a normal replacement. So how many bad valves do you think you got in a day? 50 valves.
Call it one.
You got one solenoid, you got one valve. So add another one, you got probably approximately 2 a day.
All right, cool.
A good technician has all this little bullshit on each ticket. The bad technician just has rotary, misthead. Rotary,
Yeah.
misthead, timer. Yes, you're making money, but you're just hitting everything that everyone complains about.
That's the reason that when I did the slides, I made the heads towards the end, all right? Because I want to show you all the other stuff that you can do. All right, so rotary heads. We have two basic, most rotary heads would be your 4-inch head, okay, or your 12-inch head. 50 zones, 250 heads. You got 150 rotary heads a day.
Steve, before you change a rotary head, total that up.
Total it up.
Total that whole thing up.
2,500.
This is 2,500?
2,500. You didn't change a head
You
yet.
didn't add this in, did you?
Yep.
1488 plus these?
Yep.
Okay. So 2,500.
You didn't change a head yet. That's all the things in the price book you could be doing.
You
and
didn't even get
checking
to
and looking.
backflows, copper brakes, nothing yet.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's endless amounts of stuff that you can do.
The whole pump sometimes.
But heads is where you just got to be careful. You can't just attack heads though. Make sure they're leaking. Make sure they're not moving. If they're older. Also too, a key thing of advice with a lot of people when they question you about heads, what you can tell them is, listen, an average life expectancy of a rotary head is anywhere from 5 to 6 years. That head operates, comes up every time, and rotates about 10,000 times a year. When people hear 10,000, shit, that's a lot of time that thing has to turn. It has to turn. They're plastic gears. They're going to wear out eventually. So I always tell my customers anywhere from 5 to 6 years the average life expectancy. If you get more, it's a bonus. But average 5 to 6 years, and they rotate 10,000 times a year. So eventually they are going to break down and you're going to have to replace them.
So you checked, you got about 150 rotary heads for the day. How many rotary, actually I'll tell you how many rotaries. We went back, we look at all the Pacific guys, everybody. We look at all the houses they went to, and we came up with an average. An average on every house, they're changing one rotary. When you do all the math at the end of the year. Now that changes. Some houses you have 10, some houses you have 1, some houses you have 3. But when you go through the whole year, it always ends up at around 1 per house. We got all different size mist heads. We got.
Also, too, your two big sellers here are going to be your 4-inch and your 12-inch in landscape zones. Some of you guys' areas, like sometimes in North Carolina, your grass is real thick. Where you have that customer that has a tall thing. You want to use a 6-inch, and you're going to tell them why. You know, the reason why is because the head's gonna be able to clear the grass, spray properly. You know, it's not gonna sit low and get all distorted. So you want to always have a reason for why you're upgrading them.
Yep. How many, let's say, how many 4-inch heads you think you change in a day? 5?
5.
At a low?
5.
You could keep it at the 1 per house.
It probably is a.
No, no.
Mist heads always come a little lower.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, whatever, say 5. Yeah, that's 210. You know, connections, we got copper connections, 1/2 inch to 3/4 to 1 inch. We consider this a connection, you know, a couple feet, that's one connection here. You're not going to charge for 2 connections. If you have something like this, you might charge for 2 connections, but something close is 1 connection. Whether you use a shark bite or you do a solder, whatever. You know, we got 65 bucks, 85 bucks, 105 bucks for copper. All right, so let's say you're doing 1 copper connection per day, 3/4. 85.
And these are all over the place, you know. People, if they have a hose bib outside, something like that on copper, they have, you know, the plumbing just coming out of the house. If, you know, maybe you had the ball valve off, but someone in their house turned their water on. Boom, now it's split outside. You'll always find something with copper to fix.
Sometimes on a PVB in Jersey, you know, the ones that are like a real pain, you know, sometimes you got to charge labor, or maybe you charge for 2 connections because you're trying to solder against the house and everything if it's
You
hard.
may charge for the backflow plus a connection if it's hard.
Listen, yeah, this is a great day right here, you know?
Perfect day right there.
Perfect. Yeah. This is if everything goes perfect, all right? It don't always happen. We have every different timer you can imagine in the price book, okay?
But don't feel bad.
All right, I'm not going to keep adding these up. You guys get the point, but we got timers, all right? You can upgrade their old timers. If the buttons aren't working properly, if the screen's bad, if you can't figure out the setting on it, change it. You know, you can't.
Everything too now is Wi-Fi, man. Don't be afraid. Learn it. Don't be scared of Wi-Fi anymore. You know, Wi-Fi when it first came in, everyone was intimidated by it, but no one wants to just hear that you're going to put a new clock up. Everyone wants the best thing possible. So take the extra time. Tell them, listen, we got a Wi-Fi up. Conserve your water. You can use it from your phone. You know, it's just a little bit more expensive than the regular, but your return on your investment, you're going to save money in the long run by having the Wi-Fi.
Sometimes people will just have valves buried. You know, when you're trying to track a wire and you finally found it and they're all buried, you got to charge them for a valve box. So we got all different sizes depending what you're going to, you know, what size you need.
This is big. This is big. Do not just give this away. You know, you gotta, don't feel bad. You know, you see you're a victim. You feel bad charging them for it. But are they paying your bill? Are they giving you money for no reason? So why are you giving them money? That tool costs you money to learn how to use that tool.
And time.
And time. Your time is valuable. You know, so you gotta charge for what it is. Listen, maybe if you want to give them a break, if you only use it for 10 minutes, maybe you slash that in half, you charge them 75 bucks. But don't just not charge someone something because you feel bad.
All right, so how much money do we have? We got about $3 grand, right? And the best part about all this is we were just thinking small, all right? These are just parts that we were selling. We wouldn't do any other promotion for ourselves or for Pacific. All right, so what happens if you want to really promote Pacific and really grow your business, if you're a franchise? All right, so you're going to sell this on site, okay? You're not going to give a price for this and say we're going to come back and do it. You're going to try and do it right there, okay? Sometimes you have to come back, but you want to do it right there. Did you ask for a referral? So you did this sale of the battery, the nozzle, whatever. When you were done, did you ask for a referral? So you made money, you got a referral. Did you suggest a Wi-Fi timer to them?
You could send quotes out for this without even thinking. Generate a quote, send it out. Tell the person, listen, I can't do it right now, but I just want to send you a control time, a quote for a Wi-Fi control timer. Think about it, it can save you a lot of money. So yes, you just hit all your repairs, but you're also trying to book some summer work by throwing them a little bit of a quote for them to think about.
So just another thing to suggest. Did you see a landscaper on the job? Did you talk to him? Did you give him your card? Did you say, hey, I'm Alex, I'm Mason, I'm Chris, whatever. Did you give your card? All right? Did you give quotes, like he said, for renovation? So say you fixed the heads, whatever, but did you see that in the backyard they're missing a zone of drip? You know, did you suggest that to them for next time?
Did they put a playground in? Is all the heads spraying the playground now? Let's reformat the heads around the playground to spray out. You know, those are things, just little things to pick up on as you're walking around the home.
These people are willing to spend money, all right? It might be hard to get it out of them, but they're willing to spend money, okay? They called you for a service appointment. They confirmed the appointment. They know you're coming. They know they're going to spend money, okay? They already know. Their home that they're in probably costs $500,000, okay? So they spent money on their home. They spent money on their grass, on their landscaper, on their electrician. They're spending money with everybody, all right? So don't think that they're not going to spend money with you. Their home costs 500 grand, but a repair only costs 200 bucks. That's the way you got to think about it. You know, is you can get it. Sometimes they'll give you a hard time, but at the end of the day, if you say the right things, you can get it. They called you knowing that they'll spend money. All right, so we always say this is it's really important with the greeting and kind of like back to basics here. But when you do the whole handshake thing, you know, you want to go to every customer. Hi, I'm Steve. Handshake. How are you? How's everything? Nice. Thanks for having us out. So important. Even if you have trouble doing everything else.
Nothing is worse than this. Hi, how are you? What does that show right away? Shows that you don't know what the hell you're doing. You're not confident in yourself. Why are you even at my house? That's the first thing I'm thinking. You know, I'm thinking that you're just filling someone's shoes because someone was out for the day and you don't know what to do.
Is there anything about your sprinkler system or landscaping from last year did you have any problems? Is there anything particular you wanted me to check? That's such an important question. If you don't ask this and you just say, where's your timer, and you go and check it, you don't even know if this customer is wants to tell you that you know what, I'm sick of these heads, replace everything. Replace everything. I need a Wi-Fi timer. You don't know he's going to tell you anything if you don't ask.
There's two ways you go about it. Also, too, what I like to do is sometimes with the question here is you'll get a rebuttal that says, "What do you mean? You're not going to check everything?" You know, when you're asking certain questions that some people will if you get a little psycho of a person, they kind of knock you down. Sometimes what you want to do too is you just want to install confidence into the person. I'm going to check your whole entire system out here in a few minutes, but I just want to make sure, is there any areas that you're unhappy with? Is there any areas of concern from last year that you want me to really emphasize? Boom. So you're automatically installing confidence of the person that you're going to do your job fully, but you want their opinion on what you're going to do so you can emphasize certain areas better. Get it? You're not leaving any doubt in their mind.
So, any problems from last year? No, there were no problems at all. All right, let's just say that. Okay, next question. Do you plan on doing any new landscaping this year? Because a lot of people have these big dreams that they're gonna, I'm gonna put trees in the back and I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. So, I'm gonna put trees in the back. Okay, well, I have to check that area because you might, I gotta check if the sprinklers are there. You might need a drip zone for there. Then you could start selling them a new thing for over there, whatever it is, moving the heads, adding a zone, whatever it is, raising the heads. Are you doing any new landscaping? All right? Those questions aren't working, or you want to use this one too. Have you used Pacific before? Or why did you stop using your old company? It's kind of this question. Yeah, my last guy, he never checked the backyard, or he could never figure out the problem with zone 3, or he never changed the heads, he just ran out of here, or he never collected the money, or he never sent me a bill. Whatever they're complaining about, you're going to say, oh, okay, great, well, we're not going to do any of that, but let me check it, And that's how you, again, work your way in. Now you can blame the repairs on the other guy. Things are broken. I can't believe the guy never checked it, man, Perfect. All right? And with all that, at the end, you could ask all the questions for the referral or anything, but also, can I give you a landscape lighting quote? All right, you can do. All right, we always have it, especially if you have time, you should be giving these out. All right? So we're going to do the sales, like I said, so it's important to try and ask. You almost got to pull the sale out of them. Okay, it's not going to come easy to you, so you're going to have to ask. So say you give the guy the price, it's $500. So you're going to say also, well, can we do it now? No, I don't want to do it now. Okay, is it something with the price? What's wrong? Is there something with our service? What's wrong? You have to ask them the hard questions. All right. How do you feel about our price? If you give them a price for a renovation, it's $2,300. Don't just give the price and say, all right, I'll see you later. Thank you. Think about it. No. How do you feel about the price? How do you feel about the job?
You want that signature today.
Yeah. You gotta try and
sign. You want to check. You want something today. Or you want them to even say, go ahead and do the work. Silence is also a big key. So if you have somebody who's not very talkative or not very responsive, would you like to go through with it? And just step back and remain shut for a second. Because you know what? You just put all the pressure in the world on this guy's shoulders right now.
Sometimes they're just waiting for you to
Nudge it.
ask, you know, because they don't know what to say. So you gotta tell them almost what to say. So the whole point is you don't want to just go there and give the price and get sucked into this idea that, oh, he was such a great guy, he's gonna think about it. He's gonna get back to me. He's never gonna get back to me.
You don't want to be a used car salesman either.
Yeah.
You know, so like, you got a fine line, but you know, the typical thing is you want to try to get 2 or 3 no's before you really walk away from it. You don't want to just hear, oh, I gotta think about it. All right, have a great day. What did that do for you? Did nothing. The guy's either gonna take it, maybe, or maybe he's gonna get somebody else, or he's gonna shop it around. Now you have to fight for it. Try to get a no. Try to get a no. Try to get a no. Try to find out what's blocking him from buying today, and then you can spin it around, and maybe you can give him something, you know, in return to make him sign today.
So this is exactly what you're gonna see downstairs. You got 3 things, all right, and you're gonna sell it to the next guy. So on this job, we got that root problem. It's $90, right? We got 3 brakes, okay, and we got a valve, 2 valves. All right, so it's around $500. Okay, so let's take it right from the beginning before you even found this stuff. You're the technician.
So I'm gonna walk up, I'm gonna ring the doorbell, I'm gonna step back, he's gonna answer the door, I'm gonna say, how you doing? This is Steve Delfiore, Pacific Lawn Sprinklers. I'm here to take a look at your whole system today. Do you mind if I come in to take a look at your control timer and turn the water on?
Right. So let's bring it back, right? I'm gonna take you guys from the beginning because he's gonna hammer you guys downstairs, all right? You ring the bell. I come to the door. Yeah.
How you doing, sir? How's everything today?
How can I help you?
I'm Steve. I'm with Pacific Lawn Sprinklers. We have an
No,
appointment today.
No, we don't have an appointment.
Oh, you didn't have an appointment? You're on my schedule today. Would you like to see my tablet? See your name, process. Maybe your wife made the appointment? You want to give me a call real quick? Just double check before I leave? Okay. I know your time's valuable, my time's valuable. I want to make sure I get the most out of this call when we're here together.
Okay. Yeah. Call my wife. Oh yeah, my bad. We had an appointment. Yeah. So listen, I got to. I'm gonna be on a conference call. So yeah, just fix anything you want. Go ahead. Do whatever you got to do. You know.
Basically, once he does that, all I'm going to do is I'm going to just try to get him to talk before he leaves me real quick. Do you have any problems from last year that the other companies that you may have used didn't really, look at? I'm going to look through the whole system, check it, but any really points of interest? Did you have any new plants or playgrounds in the backyard?
No, none of that, but I don't know, the one zone in the back, I don't know if it's working, I don't know, it was brown, I don't know if it's working.
Yeah, no problem. We'll make sure the coverage is there or make sure that the zone is actually physically turning on every time. But let me go downstairs, I'll turn the water on, and I'll give you a full evaluation once I'm done.
Okay.
Cool. So basically, once I'm done, I'm going to look for everything that I'm going to see here. I'm going to go and I'm going to approach it. Now, obviously, listen, this is the one part that everyone hates when you got to bring a big-ass bill to the customer. So I'm just going to tell them, listen, I went through the entire system. You do have some, some areas of concern and troubling. Basically, where you told me that area in the back there, that's all brown, what's happening is you have a control valve there that they're not working. There's 2 valves that turn on both areas in that zone, in the 2 zones in that area, and they're intermittently working. Sometimes they're working, sometimes they're not. Both valves really need to be replaced. Along with, you have 3 line leaks throughout the property, and you have 1 root, that new maple that you planted 3 years ago there, they planted it right on top of a poly line, which is now suffocating it. In order to do this, it's about $540. You take care of it today, we'll be done in about 2 hours.
Yeah, 540, that's a lot. This one here, my landscaper broke it, so you know what, he's gonna pay you. Just do it, he'll pay you.
That's fine. What we're going to do is we'll do everything right now. I'll get it all done for you. You can pay me. I'll give you the bill, and I'll itemize it for you so that you can submit it to your landscaper.
What about the line breaks? Why are you charging me $48 for those? I mean, it's just a thing. I can do it from Home Depot. Why would you charge me?
You certainly can, but you're going to spend about 4 or 5 trips going back and forth to Home Depot. It's going to cost you money, time, gas. If you don't have the right parts, you got to go back again. I'm going to do it here now, dig it up, open it, warranty it for you. You won't have a problem ever going on in the future.
This valve, what I'm going to do, you could change it. I'm going to go to Home Depot right now. I'm going to get you the valve. While you're doing this, I'm going to go to Home Depot. I'll get it. I'll be back in about an hour and a half. And then you change the valve. Because I'm not paying you $250 for the valves.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you had the valves right now, I could definitely install them for you, but I can't wait for you to go to Home Depot and come back with it. Our time is valuable, just like your time is valuable. This is what we do. We're professionals. We warranty it, and we offer the right products.
All right, so it's $500. Let's do it today. I'll give you 400.
500 is the number, my friend.
400. Call your boss.
Unfortunately, I work for him. You know, I call him every day with this. He's not going to budge on it. You know, this is the price. You know, he exudes confidence that I know that I'm giving you the right price at the time of it.
All right, so listen, do the work and send me the bill. All right, see you later.
I just need your signature here, and at the time of when we're done, I'm going to need to collect cash, check, or credit card.
Because the other guy, my old guy, he never would collect on the spot. I mean, I usually just send him a check. Send me a bill.
You're calling us because your other guy didn't provide you with a level of service that you wanted and that you felt was good. So that's why we have processes in place that at the end of the service that we're going to collect our money and we're going to send you a receipt so we can verify your happiness.
Right. Okay. All right. So that was just a rough example. All right. Of, you know, sometimes you're going to be a lot more.
Listen, that's the biggest thing is, you know, when people want to ask you something right away, they're going to want to, a lot of times they're going to want to ask you to see what you're replacing. If it's the battery, they may follow you downstairs so next year that, you know, they could buy the battery and do it themselves. Don't be afraid of that. You're educating your customer to the fact that they can do it themselves. Yes, they're taking that battery away from you, but you know what? You're gaining respect with that customer, so they're going to trust you every time that you come back. You don't want to fight with the customer. If they want to see the filter, no problem. Show them the filter. They're never going to go online and get that exact filter. They're going to screw it up probably 3 or 4 times before they do it, and then guess what? Every year now you can do it. You know, and even the risers, just explain to them, listen, I need to raise this up. Yes, root watering is the best, but the problem is that I need these heads to spray over this hedge to also cover what's behind it, because these three heads are spraying the entire bed. So it's not the right procedure here. We need to raise them up. We need to make it perfect.